Virgos. Hopefully you guys have had a good week so far. I've already shuffled everything, so I'm going to go ahead and just get right into the reading. But before I do that, I do have a zodiac wheel pulled up for today. Technically, these are the transiting planets. It would be a little more personal doing a transit chart with your birth chart, but for the sake of just a collective thing, I've been kind of doing this with these readings for this week. I'm just focusing on the luminaries. And the luminaries are your sun and your moon. And I'm doing that because the sun represents our outward expression, kind of like how we show up to the world without effort. And then the moon sign is like our internal world. So it's like how we are on the inside, who we are whenever we're with our closest friends or relationships, whatever have you. Yesterday we had the moon in Scorpio, so yesterday's readings are going to be slightly different than this one as far as the astrology chart goes. So today the moon actually went into Sagittarius, which basically tells me that emotions might be a little bit more amped up. You might want yourself to be outside looking for adventure even. That might be a little bit more emotionally satisfying today. And the sun's still in Pisces, so our emotions are the flow of life and just like kind of feeling connected to the divine, maybe a little bit more so than where it was in any other sign, basically. Because Pisces being a mutable sign, it's about going with the flow. And because it's a water sign, on top of it being the last sign of the zodiac, it's about coming to the end of a cycle because, Aries marks the start of spring. And that's basically what it is. It's just like understanding your higher perspective, your higher source, and kind of getting in tune and in flow with that. So like intuition and, psychic phenomena or anything related to spirituality could be a little bit more easier done during this time, with Pisces. But the thing is the moon is squaring up to the sun. And that kind of tells me that like there may be some kind of conflict going on or some kind of challenge within the collective during these next couple of days, because the moon generally spends about 2 to 2.5 days in each sign, so it's not going to stay in Sagittarius, but there could be some sort of like internal conflict going on about wanting to get out and adventure and just kind of like staying where you are, basically. I mean, that's kind of like what I'm feeling with this, because if like the outward expression is the sun and the inward expression is the moon, and you have a square going on with how you wish to show up to the world, but your internal needs are something different, and you're not allowing yourself to do that, then there might be some turbulence going on emotionally because of that. So, and Sagittarius is also very goal driven too. So, if during this time you may start feeling some sort of like these next 2 days, you may kind of feel like you want to learn something new or achieve some sort of goal. It might be trying to go for something, right? But that outward expression, it is related to spirituality because it is in Pisces, but there's a conflict there. There's a challenge going on. So it's like it might be a little bit harder to be able to express that side of yourself. I'm going to start doing these little astrology chart updates. I'm just going to focus on like sun and moon. I wouldn't be doing, a full thing because that would take up the entire reading and nobody wants to do that. Okay. I don't generally read reversals, but sometimes I do take notes. I'm just going to go ahead and get everything. Yeah, okay. All right. Leos, looks like the overall essence is the material harvest. So the energy, like the overall theme or the overarching essence going on into this next week is talking about how you might actually start seeing manifestations happening. And it could be small, it could be big. Material harvest is like coming into your own independence. It's the equivalent to the Nine of Pentacles, which I am kind of feeling that vibe with this. Independence in your own financial status. But more importantly, I'm getting the feeling that like you're going to start seeing some manifestations happening leading into this next week. So you might start like buying certain things. You might start investing more time into or having the money to invest into other things that you've wanted. Kind of stuff like that. It's like bearing the fruits of your labor, basically. So, and that does make you feel a little more independent, a little more on your feet. And that's kind of like the feeling that I'm getting. So that's a great card to have, honestly, especially if you're like, wanting that side of life, right? The material side. And like I've said before, I know I like to focus on spiritual development, but as you spiritually develop and evolve yourself, you're going to naturally start attracting like higher vibrational experiences, and that includes more material abundance, more spiritual abundance, more loving relationship abundance, stuff like that. Let's see here. So in the recent past, it looks like, so we have the third eye chakra, very intuitive, very psychic, the inner vision side of ourselves. It's definitely ruled by the pineal gland, and the pineal gland, it can definitely attune itself to higher frequencies. And when it does that, your body starts being able to develop or tune into higher emotions, inner wisdom, inner knowings, information that's kind of like outside of the norm, right? And that's kind of like what I'm getting here is like, you've probably been diving into things that are trying to grab your attention to grow and evolve, because we have the wisdom card with this. You may have been intuitively guided to reach out to someone or something that's going to help you along your journey. And it very much is tied to spirituality, because everything to me is tied to spirituality. Everything is about the spiritual journey. Every experience helps you grow and evolve. So I'm definitely getting that this could be someone, for some of you outside of yourself, that's kind of helping you along your journey, and this felt intuitively guided. Others of you, it's just talking about how you may have come into some sort of either a book or some kind of spiritual knowledge from either someone or something that you were trying to dive into, and it definitely felt like you were guided towards this. You felt like it's helping you create a better vision for your life. So the current energy moving into the week, we have the mental conflicts, and we have truth as well. So what I'm getting from this is that there could be a decision being made here, and it is kind of, it is going to probably cause a little bit of conflict mentally, because it's like it could be too much into your head about it, and it could be referring to some kind of truth or revelation coming out that it's just like, I don't understand this, or possibly even I don't understand how to move forward with this. That's kind of like what I'm getting from this. So it's like, be mindful of anything. It's like if you're trying to move forward on a decision, just allow it to kind of surface internally, see the bigger picture that's happening, and allow that truth to come out, so that like the decision that might be a little bit unclear, that's causing that mental conflict, could help come out a little bit easier. And that's what I'm getting from that. So, or this also could be, and to kind of add a little bit more of an element to that, it's like some truth or revelation or epiphany could wind up coming out that does kind of create like a little bit of instability in your mental faculties. Maybe not really instabilities, but just like that conflict side. It's like the way I'm seeing it is like in your own mind. It's like creating like a battle almost, and like you can't quite fully see the picture that's happening. But that's the thing about the truth card, is like it's right before the world, and the world's about completion and achievement and moving on to the next phase. So it's like right before you get to that next phase, you have to be able to allow the experiences to come around and just culminate and just see the bigger picture before you can move on to the next phase. Understand the lessons at hand. So that's kind of like what I'm getting from that. Hopefully that resonates. What coming in future energy, we have material and spiritual prosperity, and then coupled or supported by the disruption card. So what's coming in, what I feel like is happening is there could be some sort of moment or event that initially, like, it may not feel as though it's helping you. Like the disruption card is tied to the Tower. And the Tower card represents like unexpected changes or something that kind of comes in and shocks you a little bit, which it could be very much tied to this truth that's coming out, that's going to create the mental conflict. But it could disrupt things, which kind of brings you down to your foundational knees, so to speak. And anything that kind of shakes you up and brings you down to your knees is kind of meant to bring you an experience to build back something better and stronger for yourself in your life. And that's definitely the case that I'm getting here, because the main card is material and spiritual prosperity. So anything that comes in that's going to be coming in for you that might disrupt things a little bit, like the events in your life, or it could just be your home life as well. it's definitely going to help create a better harmony within your material and spiritual life. There's going to be more of a conglomeration of these two sides of the coin to kind of meet and have a unified version of your reality, basically. And that's kind of like what I'm getting from that. Death card. Interesting. Yeah. Alright, so in the recent past, over the third eye chakra and the wisdom card, we have death. So this definitely, like this new intuitive hit that you received, this like inner vision that kind of came to light, whether it was from another person coming together or some kind of spiritual truth that came out, it definitely kind of shattered your worldview a little bit, or it definitely brought the end of an old situation, and that's kind of like what you were moving through in a way. Because a death card represents an ending of something, whether it's an ending of a belief system that creates a new habit and a behavior, or just the ending of a relationship, or just the ending of a phase in general that kind of like just needed to die out. Because the death comes in whenever the universe brings the death in, like metaphorically speaking, whenever it's time for a change. So there's something major that happened in the recent past that's still kind of affecting you today. Let's see here. So over mental conflict in the truth card, we have the Three of Cups. So it's definitely like, I definitely feel like it's related to people, like the friends in your immediate environment or the people that you are relating with. The Three of Cups to me talks about like generally a joyous time and sisterhood or brotherhood even, coming into celebration in some sort. But because it's kind of like the clarifying card here, I'm definitely feeling like this truth or this conflict that's happening is definitely related to the people in your circle. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And then over the material and spiritual prosperity and disruption card, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So definitely some sort of new opportunity being presented to you. That's what's probably going to have this disruption here. But this new opportunity coming in, this either material, like financial, it's going to help bring back in some sort of harmony that was kind of missing. But it might wind up causing some sort of disruption, like disruption in routines, disruption in anything that may have felt safe or may have appeared to be stable. It's going to wind up coming down. But these are great cards to have that's going to come in and help shake things up for you. I know being Leo, you're like your outward self. Leos it's a fixed sign. So Leos can be a bit stubborn and unwilling to change their views or change certain aspects of themselves. And the thing is like obviously change, and that's just your sun sign. So I mean, obviously the rest of your chart could be different. You could have a lot of mutable signs in your chart, which is great. But going off of the sun sign here, it's like, it might be a little bit hard for you to make some changes to some degree. All right, so moving on to the oracle cards, we have Breathe, and I'll read that to you. If you can see this. I'm not sure if you can see it. The breath is the vital bridge between your body and soul. It's the connection between the inside and outside, connecting you to the universe, spirit, and the divine source. The breath permeates your entire being with prana, which is the same life-giving force that nourishes everything in the universe. So what it's saying is like, if you do wind up going through some sort of conflict of some sort or something that's kind of rattling you, it's basically just giving you an advice to just sit back and breathe. If you're someone who doesn't like to meditate or doesn't know how to meditate, meditation is extremely good. I do it at least every other day. I might skip a day because I truly don't feel like doing it that day, even though you don't have to do much. But meditation's hard. It requires focus. It requires you to, sit your ass down and do the work. I mean, meditation is not easy. People think that it's something lazy, but really there's a lot of profound medical benefits, mental benefits, and even spiritual benefits. I'm more interested in the spiritual side of meditation, but there's a lot of science behind using it as health, using it for calming your nervous system and bringing in more positive emotions and stuff like that. So it's just saying that as you move through this time period, moving into the next week and moving on, You know, if times get a little bit turbulent for you, just take a step back and breathe, meditate, get out into nature, do something that's going to help you calm yourself and endure, you know, these challenges that are going to wind up coming in for you. I see that some of you are a caregiver in some way. We are with you, and Spirit has its own way of recognizing the care and love you provide to others, especially at the end of their lives, just as you received care and love at the start of your life. Caregivers often focus all their attention on their loved ones and often neglect their own concerns and well-being in the process. Yeah. So the immediate thought I got was that you are, you know, a lot of you are going to be some sort of caregiver, whether it's for family members or related to health, you know. I know I have at least one viewer on here that is a caregiver in the health related field, and you know who you are when I'm talking about you. I'm not going to name any names here. But it's also talking about how, like, you know, oftentimes caregivers generally give a lot of themselves out to other people. And if you feel in some way you're neglecting yourself, because a lot of times that's what happens. You know, we can give to others and not actually give back to ourselves. And the lesson here, or the advice here, is to check in with yourself and make sure that you are giving that time to yourself. You are giving yourself needed nourishment to be able to, you know, endure the life that you're moving through, the unfoldment, the challenges, everything that you're doing. You know, self-care is like the big lesson here. So be mindful of that. Let's see here. Star being healing codes. Important information: wounds are healed and recharging. Definitely honed in on the recharging aspect. That's more of like what I'm getting with this. It's like, if I'm putting it into context with the rest of this reading, it definitely seems like things are going to have to slow down a little bit, or at least be able to be in your own space so that recharging like your energy, because in some ways you may have felt a little bit like discharged, you know, putting a lot of effort and energy into some kind of endeavor. And it's just talking about being able to take time back, allow yourself to heal and recharge, so that like the energy that you're expressing is more amplified and more potent. The light of truth essentially is going to come to you, that like the epiphanies, the revelations that are happening, that are coming in for you, are definitely going to help you understand more about yourself, how to take care of yourself, and that kind of thing. So Orion activation, supernova, recreation, renewal, rebirth by light. Yeah, so what I'm getting from this card actually is like, we have this pillar here, all right, and it looks like there's like space that's beyond that. And to me, it kind of looks like a portal in a way. So it kind of seems like you're going to be walking through some sort of energetic portal, so to speak, that's going to help you move into like a new phase of your life. And you may already kind of feel this, like you may feel like you're stepping through something that's going to help you come out the other end a different person almost, or in a different life. Because the supernova to me is something that, like, it's a star that explodes, has a lot of bursts of energy, and it's, you know, I'm definitely drawn to the rebirth of light here, rebirthed by light. So it's like you're stepping more into your power, you're stepping through this portal, energetically speaking, and moving into a new life for yourself. And again, you may already feel that pull towards that anyway, but there's a lot of divine energy surrounding this, recreating yourself, renewing your life, recharging, you know, giving back to yourself, giving back to others in any way, shape, or form. But there's harmony coming in between your material and spiritual life. So really cool reading, actually. But anyway, Leo, I really appreciate you guys being here. If you enjoyed this or found value in it, please like, share, and or subscribe. I am trying to expand. I don't have a whole lot of viewers right now, but I'm going to keep making the videos anyway, right? I can't just stop and be like, yeah, only 5 people viewed this video, I can't do this anymore. That's not how the universe works. The universe commends diligent and persistent work, and honestly, that's just me talking out my thoughts. So don't be scared of any low. I know people look at some videos and like, oh, it's only got 4 views, maybe it's not that great. Now, if anything, it's probably just because this person doesn't have a lot of subscribers yet and they're not out there. So anyway, again, like, share, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.